Something that was promised around a year ago has actually turned up. It's 50 Cent's Diddy documentary. It's 4 parts, 4 hours long, and it's a walk through Diddy's life up until the moment he was arrested. It's been released by Netflix and it's called Sean Combs' The Reckoning.
50 Cent has been working on this documentary for almost 2 years. The footage he has is insane. The people he got speaking about Diddy is ridiculous. And on top of that, the only place he agrees to do the interview, Rob, if you can show this, he goes and interviews with ABC.
50 Cent has once again placed himself at the center of a conversation that the music industry has avoided for years. This time, the focus is not on jokes or trolling. It is on power, silence, and what happens when loyalty collides with self-preservation. According to statements and public comments linked to 50 Cent, the story behind Diddy's downfall may not be as simple as it looks. And at the center of this storm stands Jay-Z, a figure many believe knew far more than he ever said. The main point being discussed is not music, it is not charts or legacy, it is about information. According to 50 Cent, powerful people in the industry always know what is coming before the public does. They see the cracks forming early, and when trouble starts building, they do not stand together. They separate. They protect themselves first. As Diddy's legal problems started to grow, something strange happened. The industry went quiet. There was no strong support, no loud defense, just silence. That silence raised questions. People began asking where Jay-Z was during this time. Why was someone so close, so powerful, and so connected staying completely quiet? 50 Cent hinted that this silence was not accidental. According to his comments, some people already knew how serious the situation was. They knew the allegations were not just rumors. They knew paperwork existed, and they knew tapes existed. The conversation became louder when it was revealed that 50 Cent somehow had enough material to build a full documentary project, while others claimed they knew nothing. That raised one key question: where did the information come from? Sources and commentators began suggesting that Jay-Z may have understood how dangerous the situation was long before the public did, and instead of standing next to Diddy, he allegedly chose distance. According to this theory, separation was not emotional, it was strategic. The idea being discussed is that Jay-Z has always been someone who moves early. He does not wait for collapse, he steps away before things fall apart. Critics and commentators say he has done this before in business and personal partnerships. One name that keeps appearing in these discussions is Desiree Perez. She is often described as someone with long-standing connections in legal and federal spaces. Multiple artists have publicly stated that when they were in trouble, they were directed toward her for help. That alone has made people question how Jay-Z always seems untouched when chaos surrounds others. 50 Cent openly questioned why Jay-Z never seems to be the next target. His answer was clear.
Football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of...
According to him, Jay-Z is not outside the system. He is connected to it. That connection, in his view, offers protection. Another layer of the story involves emails were shown that suggested attempts were made to bring certain voices onto platforms just as major news was breaking. Some saw this as an attempt to control narratives rather than reveal truth. Jaguar Wright became one of the loudest voices pushing this conversation further. She claimed that warnings about recordings and documents were ignored for months. At the time, people dismissed her. They said she had no proof. But later, attorneys connected to real cases reportedly confirmed the existence of similar files. That shift changed everything. Suddenly, what sounded wild before began to feel familiar. When stories told years ago begin matching current events, people start listening differently. According to Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z and Diddy are not separate stories. She believes they are linked. She argues that discussing one without the other misses the point. In her view, they rose together and benefited together. She also claimed that Jay-Z has always left situations before disaster hit. She says he allows destruction to happen behind him while he moves forward untouched. These are allegations, not proven facts, but they continue to gain attention because of timing. The legal angle also raised eyebrows. Jay-Z's attorney was reportedly connected to multiple situations surrounding Diddy's case. For many observers, this felt unusual. It suggested deep awareness, not distance. Meanwhile, Jay-Z remained silent. No statements, no interviews, no public denial. To some, silence meant strength. To others, it meant panic. Another topic that surfaced was the loss of followers on social media. While that alone proves nothing, it added to the feeling that something was shifting behind the scenes. Wright argued that silence does not always mean innocence. Sometimes it means waiting. Waiting for the right moment, waiting for things to pass. She also pushed the idea that women would ultimately be the ones to bring truth forward. She claimed that recordings existed that could change everything once fully revealed. The discussion became even darker when older industry stories resurfaced, stories involving fear, power, and people being pushed aside. Names that were once whispered quietly started being spoken openly again. One story involved a time when Jay-Z was reportedly afraid to leave his hotel room due to tensions with Suge. That story had been denied for years, but multiple people later claimed it was true. According to those accounts, phone calls were made to calm things down because business plans were at risk. Those plans included attempts to connect the East Coast and West Coast under powerful business structures. Conflict would have destroyed those plans, so peace was forced. These older stories matter because they show patterns of power, protection, and control. And when patterns repeat, people begin to believe there is structure behind them. Taguri also added fuel to the conversation when he said Diddy was connected to federal systems. Some interpreted this as Diddy being an informant.
Others saw it as anger, but the word stayed. According to one account, paperwork was taken to federal offices years ago involving major players in the industry. The details remain unclear, but the claim continues to resurface. The idea many are now discussing is simple. When people face pressure, they talk. When they fear losing everything, they protect themselves. 50 Cent never directly said Jay-Z betrayed, but he did not deny the possibility either. Instead, he kept pointing toward internal betrayal rather than outside attacks. That idea scares the industry more than anything. If powerful figures can turn on each other quietly, then no one is truly safe. As these discussions grow, people are questioning the past differently. Lyrics feel different. Old interviews sound different. Silence feels heavier. Jaguar Wright believes Jay-Z always positions himself as untouchable. She claims he chooses moments carefully and never waits for disaster. These are serious claims, and they remain allegations, but they continue gaining attention because of timing, silence, and repeated patterns. What stands out most is the quiet. No strong denials, no loud pushback, just waiting. The industry has seen this before. Powerful people rarely fall loudly. They fall through silence, paperwork, and slow exposure. 50 Cent continues to hint that once the full truth comes out, people will understand why everything felt strange for so long. For now, the questions remain. Where did the tapes come from? Who had access? Who moved first? And who stayed silent on purpose? This story is not finished. It is unfolding slowly. And when silence breaks, it usually breaks hard. As time passed, the silence around Jay-Z became heavier than any statement could ever be. People were not just watching what he said, they were watching what he refused to say. In moments like these, silence can feel louder than guilt, louder than denial, and louder than fear. The main discussion now is not whether Jay-Z was involved, but whether he knew what was coming and chose to protect himself instead of standing beside someone he once called family. According to multiple voices in the industry, loyalty ends when survival begins. Many insiders say the music industry is not built on friendship, it is built on leverage. Whoever holds information holds power, and whoever sees danger early has time to escape. According to claims being discussed online, Jay-Z slowly distanced himself long before the public scandals exploded. There were fewer appearances together, fewer public acknowledgments, fewer signs of brotherhood. To some, it looked natural. To others, it looked planned. People began revisiting old interviews where Jay-Z spoke about knowing when to walk away. At the time, those words sounded like business wisdom. Now they sound like warnings. Jaguar Wright claimed that many people were warned years ago. She said names were mentioned behind closed doors. She said evidence was discussed quietly, and she said some people listened while others laughed. According to her, Jay-Z was never someone who laughed things off.
She claims he listened carefully and moved quietly. These are allegations, but they continue to spread because they match how events unfolded. As Diddy's legal problems grew darker, more people began asking why no one powerful was standing next to him. No emergency press tour, no major artist stepping forward, just distance. That kind of distance hurts more than public criticism. It tells the world that even your closest allies do not trust the ground you stand on. 50 Cent hinted that betrayal does not always come with anger. Sometimes it comes with calm decisions, quiet phone calls, meetings behind closed doors, papers signed silently. He suggested that someone inside the circle knew exactly when to step away. Another emotional layer of this story involves fear. Not fear of public opinion, but fear of exposure. Fear of what might come out if one person decided to talk. According to some reports, sealed files and recordings exist that connect multiple powerful figures. These files are said to be protected by legal walls, but walls can crack under pressure. Jaguar Wright claimed that women in the industry have carried these stories for years in silence. She said they were ignored, dismissed, and threatened. And now, as things unfold, those voices feel heavier than ever. She believes the truth does not come fast. It comes when silence becomes unbearable. People also began questioning the timing of certain business moves, large investments, new partnerships, quiet exits, all happening before headlines exploded. To many observers, this did not feel random. It felt like preparation. Jay-Z's calm public image became a point of debate. Some called it strength, others called it calculation. When storms hit, some people hide, others move their assets. The emotional weight of this situation is not just about power, it is about trust. If two men rose together, shared secrets, and built empires side by side, then silence at the moment of collapse feels like abandonment. Fans began to feel betrayed too, not because of legal issues, but because of the image they believed in: brotherhood, loyalty, unity. Now that image feels cracked. According to industry talk, when one powerful figure falls, others rush to protect themselves, not by defending, but by disappearing. Kanye West's comments resurfaced again during this time. His words about federal connections were brushed off before. Now people listen differently. When chaos matches past warnings, those warnings feel real. Some believe Diddy is being left alone intentionally. Others believe this is how power always works. Once you become a liability, you become invisible. Jaguar Wright insists that this story is not about one man, it is about a system that rewards silence and punishes truth. She says the reason Jay-Z remains untouched is not luck, it is awareness. These are serious claims, and they remain claims, but they continue to grow because no one is shutting them down. No lawsuits, no clear denials, no full statements, just waiting. Waiting can be the most painful part, for victims, for supporters, for people watching from the outside. The longer the silence lasts, the more people believe something is being hidden. 50 Cent continues to speak in hints instead of direct accusations. Some say this is because he knows more than he can say. Others say he enjoys stirring chaos. But even chaos has patterns, and people are starting to see them. As the pressure builds, one truth becomes clear.
Power does not protect forever. It only delays. When silence finally breaks, it does not whisper. It crashes. And when it crashes, it takes everyone standing too close with it. The emotional collapse does not happen all at once. It happens quietly, piece by piece. Long before the public notices, the weight becomes unbearable behind closed doors. When power starts slipping, fear replaces confidence. The people who once laughed together begin to watch each other closely. Every phone call feels risky. Every conversation feels recorded, even when it is not. According to people close to the situation, stress has changed how certain figures move, speak, and trust. The smiles look forced, the silence feels planned, and the tension is always present. The hardest part of collapse is realizing that protection is gone. The same system that once lifted you can abandon you without warning. Fame does not come with loyalty, it comes with conditions. As legal pressure increases, paranoia grows. Who knows what? Who has proof? Who is waiting for the right moment? These questions eat away at peace. People involved in these circles are not sleeping well. Anxiety does not care about money or status. When consequences feel close, the body reacts first. Some insiders say relationships have fully broken down. Longtime allies no longer speak directly. Messages go through lawyers. Friends become distant. Trust disappears. This kind of isolation is crushing. Being surrounded by people yet feeling completely alone is one of the most painful experiences a person can face. Jaguar Wright claimed that many people are emotionally breaking because the truth they buried for years is now clawing its way out. She says guilt does not disappear, it waits. According to her, some people knew harm was happening and chose comfort instead of courage. Living with that choice becomes unbearable when exposure feels close. Fear changes people. It makes them defensive. It makes them silent. It makes them desperate. As more details surface online, families are affected too. Children, partners, loved ones who did not choose this life but must now live with the fallout. The emotional toll spreads beyond the headlines. It enters homes. It enters private moments. It destroys the idea of safety. Some people are not afraid of prison. They are afraid of being exposed for who they truly are. Losing the image hurts more than losing freedom. Image collapse is brutal. Once the mask cracks, it cannot be repaired. No statement can undo years of hidden behavior. There are reports that certain individuals are struggling mentally. Panic attacks, emotional breakdowns, long periods of isolation. This is what happens when control slips away. The silence that once felt powerful now feels suffocating. Every day without resolution feels like a countdown. People who once controlled narratives now react to them, and reacting is a sign of weakness in power circles. This emotional collapse is not loud. There are no public meltdowns yet, just quiet fear, heavy guilt, and constant tension. 50 Cent continues to hint because hints are safer than truth. Saying everything could shake systems, and systems protect themselves. The public senses the shift. Fans feel it. The energy is changed. Something is ending. When emotional collapse begins, mistakes follow. People talk too much or not at all. Both can be dangerous. The strongest empires fall when fear replaces unity.
When secrets turn into weapons, when silence stops working, this is no longer about fame or success. It is about survival. And when survival mode activates, even the strongest figures show cracks. The collapse is happening slowly, quietly, painfully. And once it reaches the surface, nothing will stop it, because emotional collapse always comes before the truth explodes. The breakdown reaches its final stage when consequences can no longer be avoided. At this point, denial stops working, silence loses its power, and every past decision comes back with weight. According to reports and online discussions, the pressure has now shifted from rumors to responsibility. People are no longer asking what might happen. They're asking who will fall next and how deep the damage goes. When systems feel threatened, they respond fast. Lawyers move, contracts are reviewed, old partnerships are quietly cut. Damage control becomes the main focus, not truth. The fallout does not only affect the people at the center, it spreads outward. Artists lose support, projects are paused, careers are placed on hold. The ripple effect is real and painful. Some insiders say people are being advised to stay silent at all costs. Others are being told to prepare statements. This difference alone shows who feels safe and who does not. Families are now living under stress they never expected. Loved ones carry fear without answers. Children hear whispers they do not understand. Partners feel the shame of headlines they did not create. Reputation damage is permanent. Even if legal outcomes are unclear, public trust does not reset easily. Once belief is broken, it rarely returns fully. According to claims being discussed, some people may face financial losses greater than any fine. Endorsements disappear, business ties weaken, doors that once opened easily now remain closed. The emotional toll is heavy. Anxiety becomes daily, peace becomes rare, waiting becomes torture. Those who once felt untouchable now feel exposed. Power does not feel the same when eyes are watching closely. Some supporters still defend blindly, others walk away quietly. This shift hurts the most. Losing belief from strangers is one thing, losing it from loyal supporters is another. There are reports that certain figures are preparing for long legal battles, others are preparing for silence and disappearance. Both paths lead to loss. What remains after the fallout is not fame, it is truth, and truth does not negotiate. Jaguar Wright continues to claim that this moment was always coming. She believes silence only delays consequences, never erases them. 50 Cent's words still echo through hints and jokes. Humor becomes a shield when truth feels too dangerous. The industry itself may change after this. Rules tighten, behavior is watched more closely, trust becomes harder to earn. People who survived quietly feel validated, people who stayed silent feel exposed, and people who denied everything feel trapped. The final breakdown is not dramatic, there are no explosions,
just consequences arriving one by one. This is how empires end, not with noise, but with accountability. The fallout will continue long after headlines fade, long after attention moves on, long after statements stop, because some damage cannot be undone, some trust cannot be rebuilt, some stories do not disappear. What remains is a warning. Power without responsibility always collapses. Silence without truth always fails. And when the fallout settles, the truth stands alone. Not loud, not dramatic, just permanent.